Is anyone else having this insane pull towards chocolate brown and burgundy bags lately? Like the fact that these colors have never been on my radar, have never been colors I've naturally gravitated towards, makes me question whether I actually really like these colors or whether I've just been influenced. Bamboozled, really. Let me know if the same thing is happening to you. And stay tuned to see what exact bag styles have completely stopped me in my tracks. Welcome back to A Briefcase of Luxury, where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. And while I have no intentions of quitting my day job as a business professor, I would love to continue to grow this channel. So thank you to those of you who have subscribed, liked, commented, or shared my videos in the past. And thank you so much for watching this video today. Now, to be fair, I do consider myself a neutrals girl. So you would think that colors like chocolate brown and burgundy aren't that big of a stretch for me. I mean, they don't seem that far off the neutrals family, right? Like chocolate brown, that's still brown. And brown is like the union rep for neutrals, you know? But I would argue that up until lately, these darker brown shades have probably been the least popular of all the browns. If anything, chocolate brown is notorious for coming off as, I don't know, old or aged. I don't know how to describe it without sounding ageist. I mean, maybe to put it another way, this is a color that you're just more likely to find on vintage bags than new releases, up until this season, that is. So I'm not sure at what point we've decided to flip-flop on this, because this is like the hot color just in time for the fall. And same with burgundy. That is, again, another color that you find a lot with vintage bags. Think Hermes and their iconic Rouge Ache. And granted, with any of the burgundy, ox blood, dark red berry type colors, they do make a bit of a comeback every fall season, but I feel like it's hitting a little harder than normal this time around. But regardless, those two colors have always felt a little too matronly for my personal taste. And I've already mentioned previously that I'm trying to come to terms with the fact that I'm not getting any younger, and that there are some bag styles and colors that make me feel or look more mature that I'm ready for. And it really doesn't get more matronly than these two colors, especially with like gold hardware. And so like, I'm not sure what's happening to me lately. Like, I love my browns, but the pull has always been towards your cognac or your caramel browns. I've never paid attention to the darker browns. Like at that point, I'd rather just go for black. But when it comes to the Rouge Ache type color, I honestly don't have any red bags in my collection or anything in the burgundy family. Why? I can't tell you. It's just never been something I have felt the need to add. It's never been my top pick of color. But I don't know, man, somewhere along the way, I've started to flip-flop on that as well. And now I'm like itching for them. With the chocolate brown, that obsession started when I went down the rabbit hole of looking at vintage Constances on eBay. And what do you know? The most common colors you're going to run into are black, cafe brown, and their signature Rouge Ache. And the more of the brown ones I saw, in particular, the more I became obsessed, to the point where I wasn't even going to consider any other color if I ever went down that vintage Constance route. I now desperately want a vintage Constance in brown with gold hardware. And it's wild because even last year me would have been like, absolutely not. But 1 year older me is like, why am I now just realizing what a perfect combination this is? So I don't know. I'm still nervous to pull the trigger in case it's just a phase, because vintage Constances really aren't that much cheaper than a new Constance pre-loved. And at first, I thought my obsession with the chocolate brown was just limited to vintage bags, but I mean, chocolate brown is everywhere this season in almost every single new release. Think Prada, Thoreau, Bottega, and their ever so popular color fondant. And now even your mid-tier brands like Coach and Michael Kors, they're all getting on board the chocolate train, which, by the way, the Coach Tabby in the new chocolate brown is stunning. It's like the most delicious looking chocolate bar. So there's that. And on top of everything, it also doesn't help that suede is trending, and put that combo together, it's unstoppable. People have lost their marbles over it, including me apparently. As a side note, I'm definitely not against suede either. Like, just get yourself some good waterproofing spray and a good suede brush, and I say just ride that trend if you want to test it out. But yeah, chocolate brown, man. It's giving me the warm fuzzies at the moment. And even when it comes to the burgundy type reds, again, that all started with the vintage Constances and the Rouge Ache color, and I have never once given Rouge Ache a second glance. I mean, I appreciate the color and its heritage for what it is, but I have never been interested in adding anything in Rouge Ache to my personal collection until I seriously considered buying a vintage Constance. But in my mind, the vintage Constance bag style has been claimed by the Cafe Brown. But not to worry, there are quite a few other bag styles in Rouge Ache that I would be more than happy to have. For instance, eBay had this vintage shoulder Kelly 20, and yeah, it's not in the best of shape, but we can forgive that because she's old, okay? And I thought of pulling an Alyssa Lenore and buying it and getting it spot, which also I should mention, Pia here on YouTube has a beautiful Kelly Elan in a chocolate brown with gold hardware, and Oksana LV has a stunning box Birkin in Rouge Ache. I mean, talk about eye candy. I think seeing how they are able to pull off these colors and how they make it look so timeless makes me feel like I can do it too. But let's say, again, I'm just worried that this is a phase, and that's a lot of money to drop on a phase. YSL has the Manhattan in a very similar rouge color, and I just seriously can't with it. Like, if you're wanting to go for an Hermesian box leather vibe, like, this is a lot more affordable, and still it's a beautiful bag. Like, that shade of red, again, like the Rouge Ache, is about as classic and neutral as it gets. And I think this actually can pair really well with grays and blacks. Again, just perfect for the cooler months coming. Oh, and as an honorary mention, I did get to try on the Cartier bag that I already have, this one up here, but in the micro size. I think I tried it on at the Heathrow airport, and I think that just solidified it for me that it's a color that I should seriously consider. I mean, it was actually very flattering against my colorway, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't even a year ago where I was dogging on Louis Vuitton and their wine collection, like with the Pochette Métis, and I can't remember what all other styles they released in that burgundy color, but I'm pretty sure I called it an out of touch, out of date, like matronly choice, which was completely at odds with the direction that they were going in with their almas and all the fun, bright, and pastel colors they released at around the same time. I still don't think I would go for anything like that Pochette Métis with the pebbled leather in that color. Like, I would want it to be akin to box leather if I ever went that route, which is why the YSL Manhattan is just like singing its siren song to me. But speaking about my love for cognac browns, I am happy that Louis Vuitton finally released the Pochette Métis in that colorway. I think it's gorgeous, but hear me out. What about a chocolate brown, huh? Wouldn't that be stunning? Like, think like the monogram canvas brown color, but just in like empreinte leather. I'm telling you, Louis Vuitton needs to ride that trend now. I mean, they release bags every other day, so I can't see this being a hard release to do. So here I am, lusting over colors I've never ever considered in the past. Also, if we were to meet in the middle, then I would have to give Hermès's Rouge Cellier an honorary mention, because Rouge Cellier is like the result if chocolate brown and Rouge Ache had a baby, but maybe somewhere in like the distant gene pool, it had a bit of purple undertones thrown in. I mean, that to me is another color I've never cared for until now. Now I'm like scouring the pre-loved market to see what's available in Rouge Cellier. Like, I like the color, I just haven't found the perfect color to bag fit yet, but by golly, I am looking. So, am I just getting older? Am I ready to embrace my matronly side, or am I just allowing myself to be influenced? I don't know. All I know is at this moment, these are the colors I cannot get out of my head. Let me know what you think of these colors, and if they were ever ones that you paid attention to before, or are you just paying attention to them now, kind of like me, because it does seem to be a trending thing. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we'll catch up next time.